I just love to explore these kinds of places along the way. Every now and then I'm lucky enough to find an old homestead or a relic from the past like this place, and it's just always a real joy to kind of poke around and try to feel what the life was here once upon a time. So I'm out here in a place called Parsons Grove, and this road so far is nothing like I expected. From the information that I gathered on the internet before coming out here, I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it is. I haven't had any real challenges driving down this road so far. That said, it still is a route that you have to be serious about. This is remote, there's no services out here, and if you were to come out here on a larger bike and you maybe didn't have the required skill level, you could have your hands full on this road. It's steep, it's loose, it's rocky, there are some really steep hairpin corners, but I didn't have any problems. It's definitely a lot easier than I thought, and I'm really having a blast out here. Damn! I would not take my 1200 up this hill. This is way too steep and loose and rocky. This little bike is doing good. I just didn't have it in me to get through this section, so we'll see what's up ahead. Oh shit! Every time I lose power or get stuck, it's so steep that I start to slide backwards, and the only way you can stop a bike from sliding backwards when it's pointed uphill is to get your foot on the brake pedal for the rear brake, and that's not always easy to do in these kind of situations. I've tipped over a few times already just trying to do that, but this is a bitch. This is a real bitch, and I got to keep going. Well, I'm definitely at the edge of what I'm capable of. This road has turned out to be every bit as difficult as I ever imagined it could be, even more so. And I've really got myself into a situation here because there's still quite a bit of it to go. And I was already thinking that there's no way I'm gonna ride back on this road. I'm gonna take the long way around once I get to the other end and go back through those water crossings. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle here, and there's a steep rocky grade ahead of me, and who knows what else. Looking on the map, there's definitely some ups and downs of elevation. I really have no right going down a road like this alone, even on a smaller bike. This, I just feel like I got in over my head, and I was kind of irresponsible. And there's going to be a lot to unpack in this video. Definitely lessons learned. But the long and short of it right now is I'm taking a break here from the sun, climbing another hill, is that I don't feel like I should be out here by myself doing this. And look at what happened. Look at what it got me into. But I didn't know. I didn't know what this road was going to be like, but that's not really an excuse either. If I'm going to be out here by myself, it's my job to know and to be prepared. And so that's kind of why I'm recording this for you guys, to give you my hard-earned wisdom here. And this is about as hard-earned as it comes. I stopped here to take a break, and I walked up ahead scouting the road, and there's no way that I'm going to continue on this road. I can't do it. It would be impossible. I'm already pretty exhausted right now. I can barely walk on these rocks. So I'm going to turn around and go back down this hill and up a few more and try to make it back to the van that way before I get too wiped out. I was just looking at my trip odometer. I zeroed it out when I left the campsite so I would have accurate mileage, and it says 12.6. I'm gonna do my best, and if I have to, if I get too exhausted, I'll just park the bike and walk back to the van and figure out what to do from there. I've got limited water with me, so keeping an eye on that and just my overall strength. Trying to take frequent breaks, not overheat. Just sliding down this hill. Wow. Fuck. Oh. That's it. I don't have it in me to pick this up one more time. I'm gonna walk out. I've got my water. I'm gonna get lots of rest along the way and stop in the shade. If possible, find some more water. Try to make it back to the van where I can relax, get some water, and come back here and figure this out. So I've got a little ways to go to get up to Parsons Grove and then walk back along the road. I'm leaving the rest of my things here. I went through, taking anything I think I'll need, which isn't very much, but leaving my camera gear here for now. I can't believe that I rode that motorcycle up this road. I absolutely am astonished that I made it this far. And it's going to be a hell of a trip in the van to get back here. I got way in over my head on this ride. And all I can think about on the way back here is what happened and why did it happen. And first thing, I take 100% responsibility for what happened today. Absolutely. But it's good to think about contributing factors. And interestingly enough, I think one of the factors is my new motorcycle. Ironically, I got this bike because it's lighter and smaller than my 1200 GS, and so I thought it would be easier to do the challenging roads. And I suppose that's true to a degree. But what I'm learning right now is that my 1200 GS has a built-in safety feature. When the roads get too challenging, I know, and I back away from them, or I don't even go down them in the first place. And I don't have that kind of experience yet with this bike. I haven't ridden it long enough to know what it's capable of. I don't have my skills built up on this particular bike. And even though it's smaller and lighter than my 1200, it's still a medium-sized adventure bike. It's not a little dirt bike. And so that does not mean that you can just ride anything. And I think the road I got in on today proves that. Even for my smaller bike, I don't think that's the kind of road that anyone would really want to be ripping around on. I'm laying down under a canopy of trees back at Parsons Grove. And I'm glad I made it here because I thought I remembered seeing a little bit of water. And it's true. I'm at some kind of a spring here. I'm thinking I'll just lay here and relax and wait till it cools off a little bit and continue. I probably got 6 to 8 miles to get back to the van. But I will drink the rest of the water in my hydro flask, and then I'll fill up with this manky cow and horse water here, and I might catch giardia, but that's better than dehydration. That's literally the last of my water. A couple of mouthfuls. I can tell that I'm kind of dehydrated because my mouth is dry. Even my voice sounds different. So I'm very thankful for the water that I brought with me, which is almost done. And now I'm filling up some other containers that I've found with water. It doesn't look like much, but it's water. I'm going to kick back and relax for a little while, drink the rest of my good water, and then I'm going to start hiking out of here after it cools off. And then I'll be down to drinking the bad water, so hopefully I won't get sick, or at least if I do, it'll be after I make it back to the van. There's another water container. Maybe two. I've been scavenging up in the buildings for some supplies that I might be able to use. And what I'm thinking is that I'm going to boil some water. I found this Spam can, and I'm going to build a little fire, and I'm going to boil some water so that it will purify it. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but this is the real deal. I can tell this is actually, in its own right, a little survival situation. If I didn't have the water that I have with me, I would be really in bad shape right now. And I'm also really thankful that I found this little spring here, so one of the scariest things was that at one point this afternoon, my legs started cramping up really bad. And that was scary because, you know, if I lose my mobility, that's a whole nother story. And I don't know, but I suspect that perhaps a little bit of dehydration can cause that to happen. Hopefully, now that I have some water and a little rest, the rest of the walk will go fairly smoothly. It's a little bit uphill from here, but then as I recall, it's going to be sort of on a ridge top, and it'll eventually descend back down into Turkey Creek. And it's hard to get an accurate mileage. My app, Gaia GPS, when it's offline as it is now, can only tell you as the crow flies, which is about 4 miles. But this track winds a lot, so it's probably double that. And when I left the motorcycle, my odometer said I had went about 13 miles. And I think I probably only walked 3 miles or so to get here, so it might even be 10 miles. It's going to be a big hike, that's for sure. I'm going to sit here a little bit longer, let the temperature drop, and hike back up over this hill at sundown. I've managed to fill up my 1.5 liters of my water bladder here, so that's all boiled water inside of there. I've got my water taken care of. It's about 4 o'clock. I'm still going to wait for another hour or two because it's hot out there in the sun before I hike out of here. Mother of God, I just about stepped on a huge rattlesnake. I don't know if you can see that bad boy, but he's coiled up. At least I have my big leather boots on, that's a good thing. I feel like this is the walk of shame or some kind of penance for my sins. This is the real deal. This could have been a really tragic day. And I'm not out of the woods yet, but I'm doing better. Well, I'm carrying on at least. I've got water. Leg cramps are coming and going. And I'm back on the graded road. There's more hills than I remember. Wow, what an ordeal. I feel like I've been from Eden to hell and back, all in the space of 24 hours. In a little while I should be back to Eden with a refrigerator full of cold water and beer And my first bite to eat since breakfast. I'm gonna chill the fuck out for a little bit and then make a plan. I made it back to the van. Let's see what time it is. It's about 7:30. So it's been a good 8 hours or so of dealing with this ordeal. But I'm back at my base camp now. I've got all the food and water that I need. I might even have a cold beer. And I'm probably not going to do that much more filming because I'm pretty exhausted. I'm going to eat and drink. I might pack up the camp and even head back out of here to the nearest city. And where I have cell phone service, then I can give my girlfriend a call. She can come out with her 4x4 Tacoma, and together we can work on a plan for getting my bike out from where it's at, because given what I've seen today, I don't want to be going back out there and trying to deal with all this by myself. I think it would be better to have a better plan this time. If we're going to go back out there, which we are, I want to be more prepared, have what I need, have a plan, and make it happen. So I'm going to sign out for right now.